Next, I want to talk a little bit about fixed assets. One of the benefits for our customers with a fully integrated system, we have the opportunity to account for all of the cost from the time we acquire an asset to the time we dispose of an asset. So let's say we have a capital asset like our cyclones or like our ball or sag mill, and we have a capital cost to buy that. Let's say it's $50,000. Our accounting staff is going to have to create an entry into a fixed asset ledger to say I paid $50,000 for it. And then they're going to get a depreciation, which means what percentage of value am I getting out of that asset over its lifetime? So it's really talking about I've got a book cost or what it cost me to acquire it. And then I've got a period of time that that asset has a useful life. That useful life could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 15 years. But it's important because it's the specific portion of it that we're going to write off at the end of that year. So because we have a fully integrated system, our fixed assets are totally integrated with our maintainable assets. And I'll be a little bit more clear about that. Not all fixed assets have to be maintainable assets in the system. However, all of our maintainable assets could be fixed assets because a lot of the stuff that we maintain it because it's very expensive. It's very costly, not only to buy and purchase new, it can be costly if it's not maintained appropriately. So again, I've clicked on my magnifying glass and typed in fixed assets. I'm going to go ahead and show you the fixed asset view. I'm just showing you it from the Cyclone feed pump. So we've got one fixed asset that I'm going to focus on today. You can see my fixed asset entry is 90, and it's got shows you a general overview, description, the fixed asset class code. This happens to be a tangible asset. The subclass code is equipment, and this happens to be in our production facility. You also see the check mark to say that it's been acquired in the system. So we already have a depreciation book associated with this. So I'm going to click into that fixed asset. It's going to show me the information on that fixed asset. Again, tangible equipment for production. It's going to show me my equipment ID. So in this case, a serial number. It's going to show me my search description. If there's an individual employee that's responsible for it, we can do that as well. And then it's going to show me my depreciation book. So it's equipment, straight line depreciation, started on May 1st of 2023. I have a 5-year depreciation, and then it's going to show me my real-time book value. So it's going to take that depreciation, my acquisition cost, and then it's going to show me what I've done to maintain it from an items, expenses, and labor standpoint over every period. So as every year goes by, you're going to have really good information about the financial performance of that asset. It's also going to show you under maintenance if there's any vendors that we use to specifically buy this or maintain it. So let's say we have a warranty under it. It's going to show you that vendor that we bought it from. And then if we've got anything else, like any additional information, this happens to be more for fleet stuff. You can attach that onto it as well. This under maintenance toggle, it doesn't mean that it's a under EAM maintenance. We know it's under EAM maintenance. This happens to be just used for warranties in the base system if you don't happen to have the enterprise asset management system. But I'm also hoping that people will realize that when it's under maintenance, there's more functionality that we can provide in the system with the EAM rather than just basic warranty information. Now, if I want to see anything that's happened on this fixed asset, I can go into that fixed asset and I can look at our asset statistics. When we pull up those asset statistics, it's going to show us information that's super valuable so we're going to see our acquisition cost. Again, we're going to see our last fixed asset posting. We're going to see our depreciation, any write-downs we have on it, salvage value if we happen to have that book. It'll show you a real-time book value. It'll show you any of the maintenance costs that have gone into it from a corrective, a preventative, and a total maintenance cost. So it's going to give you a really good overview of how much we've invested to maintain this fixed asset. This also becomes important because we do major repairs. When we do a shutdown on an asset to bring it back to new, it's going to show you all of the work that went into it so that we can justify resetting our depreciation. And I'll say that a little bit differently and a little bit slower. When we repair an asset to like new, we're extending the life of that asset. So now we have a longer time to depreciate. And there are companies that specialize in coming in and giving you an assessment of what that new life is going to look like and what those depreciation books are going to look like after you've extended the life. This gives you the justification to show you exactly what was invested into that asset from a dollar value to justify extending that life from its initial term. So let's say we've used an asset for 5 years. We've gone in, we've done major maintenance. Now we've extended it for another 5 years. When we have somebody like an auditor, KPMG, a Deloitte, PwC comes in to give us an opinion, we can justify that we've extended the life by 5 years by showing them in detail what we've invested into maintaining the asset to justify that extension in life. Fixed asset statistics are really nice. You'd also look at it from depreciation books if you want to look at every individual depreciation entry. I'm going to show you one other thing. In our fixed assets books, it's really easy to create a maintenance asset. So there's 2 ways to create it. I can either create the fixed asset first and then link it to a maintenance asset, or from my asset view, I can go into the individual asset and I can create a fixed asset as long as I have a fixed asset template. So it makes it easy to do it either or. In the related entries, we've got, I want to go down specifically to maintenance assets. This is important for our finance partners in that you can have multiple maintenance assets that are associated to a single fixed asset. And I'll give you an example because one of the benefits for our customers is being able to group things together. Example is we buy 100 light duty pickup trucks at the same time. Those 100 light duty pickup trucks have the same acquisition cost. So we could technically take those 100 assets and link them to a single physical asset entry. So it also makes it easy for the finance folks if they want to do it by grouping. However, on the maintenance side, we're really interested in individual asset performance. So we like to see it to have a 1-to-1. So we normally like to see one maintainable asset associated with one fixed asset. In this case, we have one cyclone feed pump that's related to one fixed asset entry. But let's say I wanted to have multiple cyclones. Say I bought both my cyclones at the same time, I could technically add my second cyclone feed pump to a single fixed asset card. Just makes it a lot easier for on the accounting side if I've acquired things at the same time. But again, for the maintenance side, we usually like to see them individually so that we can see individual asset performance from book cost through its entire lifespan. The other benefit for our finance folks is that at the end of the month, at the end of the period, the depreciation books are automatic. All of the investments that we've made, items, expenses, and resources will be automatically calculated and included. So no longer do you have to pull open your Excel asset register, run through your depreciation calculations, and then go put entries into your ledger. Now they're included and automatically done as part of your month end or quarter end or year end closing process. And you don't have to chase maintenance around for the information either because it's built directly into the system. You can also have reports built into the system you also have reports built into the system on the fixed asset side. You can look at the book value report. You look at appreciation, depreciation reports. You look at GL analysis, so what entries have been made into the general ledger. Also look at registers that contain all of the fixed asset entries. So I'll just look at one report really quick. This happens to be our book value report. I don't look at them very often because normally this is done through my asset statistics. I just want some quick information, so I click on the statistics report. But if I wanted to, I could go in and say, hey, I want to look at the book value by a specific date, a specific time, roll up everything, and then have a printed out report. Again, I don't do that very often just because it's more functional, just to go look at my asset statistics and drill down into the information I need directly within the system without having to run a physical report. But if you're old school and you want to, you can run reports on anything that has the date and time information from asset statistics. If I want to get a deeper view of the fixed asset, I can click on Other, and it'll give you information down to the individual work order on this specific asset. So let's say I want to see consumption of everything on work orders for this one fixed asset. I'm just going to actually, we'll do that in consumption on work orders. This is going to give us to us in an Excel spreadsheet. Do a little while, that's going to open up, and I'll show you. This will give you every individual entry. So every work order entry that's happened on this fixed asset. If you need the detail, it gives it to you right from the fixed asset card. But again, you can get to the same place from the asset card as well within the EAM side or the EAM view. Let's give this a second to open up. I don't want to underestimate the amount of time that this saves, especially if you have an organization that's got 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, lots of assets. It takes a really, really long time to go through your depreciation books, make sure that everything's accounted for correctly and all those entries are made. Within our system, it's all done within one system, one frame of glass, very easy to see all of the information necessary for you to do those entries. And then here's the detail. This gives you the analytical view of just one fixed asset. So it's showing you cost per type, cost per maintenance, cost per work order category, cost per asset category. It gives you the detailed consumption of time per resource, per type of maintenance, gives you usage by asset, gives you all of the information for you to do Excel-based analysis if that's what you want to do. I know our finance partners really like to work in Excel, so we've made it really easy so they don't have to go and do their own analytical information. It's available to you from that fixed asset card. You can view it directly in Excel, and it's got all of the charts that have been built for you. This is only one view of it. We're going to show you the Power BI view as well, which gives you a much more graphical interface to the same information. And we've also pulled all that information in our analytical view from Power BI to be a little bit more functional than working in Excel, we think. But this option is here for our maintenance or our finance partners if they want to get into the detailed cost information that's included in that specific fixed asset. I'll just show you one more view. I'll show you how to create the fixed asset from an asset card. Now that I've showed you how we do that from a fixed asset card, let's show you the other way. So I'm going to go out of my fixed assets view, and I'm going to go into my asset view. This can be done from the asset tree or just from the list view. I'm just going to click on my conveyor belt weightometer. Let's say I need to turn this into a fixed asset because it's not a fixed asset yet, so I haven't attached it to any depreciation books. It's very easy for us to go in. See, our ribbon menu up across the top has a whole bunch of different options, but in this case, we want to go to Other, and we want to create a fixed asset. When we create that fixed asset, we need to have a fixed asset template. The fixed asset template is an opportunity for our maintenance partners to be able to say what details they want from the maintenance department when they link it to a fixed asset. So I can create a fixed asset, and it's going to say, hey, one fixed asset template is mandatory. This is for our maintenance partners to make sure that we don't have maintenance doing a fixed asset entry until we've created the template that tells them the information that's needed to correctly set it up. The reason why I bring that up is that we don't have maintenance people that are creating the fixed assets in the system. What we do is have the finance department or our accounting staff create the fixed asset template, and then we have our maintenance staff that are able to link that for the accounting staff. So we just want to make sure that we communicate that it's not that the maintenance staff can't do this. It's what we want to make sure that the accounting staff, the finance staff has set the requirements of what needs to be included in the template before the fixed asset is created. I'll do one more thing and I'll show you the fixed asset template. If we have a fixed asset template in the system, then we can select that fixed asset template from the asset card. So it means that we can give that task to our maintenance partners from accounting to go and link them to fixed assets that we've already created a template for. So normally that's the order of operations. Our accounting and finance staff create that fixed asset template, and then our maintenance staff, our maintenance superintendent can go and link the maintainable assets to the fixed asset. That being said, this is normally done one time. Once it's linked, it's set it, forget it, and then we often don't come back in from a maintenance standpoint unless we need to add new assets and create the linkage to a new fixed asset. Let's talk a little bit about ledger entries.